Have you ever traveled through time? We do it every day.
Asgardia is a country with a population of more than 1 million people from more than 200 countries on Earth. Asgardia gives everyone equal opportunities, no matter what their earthly status is.
It is possible to create and live in the future right now. Are you ready? Forward progress is the solution to the entire human race. Our mission is to bridge new horizons. In Asgardia, there is no limit to the universal development in the fields of technology, finance, and arts. Asgardia is a new space and digital economy which creates opportunities for the global economy. We deliver innovations. Do you want to get on board with us? We are developing various kinds of digital businesses, attracting them to the Asgardia platform that can be backed by the means of our umbrella, i.e. franchising of the Asgardia brand. We can not only attract investments into space programs from prominent institutional investors, but also affordable amounts from the citizens of Asgardia. We comprise of more than 1 million people.
Asgardia is a chance to realize one's dream. This is a dream-driven space nation. Asgardia is a chance to belong to a community of free-thinking enthusiasts, goal-driven dreamers, and fearless innovators, theorists, and scientists.
We are the first space nation. One humanity, one unity.
Asgardia.
We are creating
The future.
Yeah. Hi, Luca. Good to see you again.
Hello, everyone. Good to see you all.
Yeah, good to see you as well. Okay, we'll start in 1 minute. Okay, thank you for rejoining us. Welcome to day 3 of the 10th sitting of the second term of Parliament. I'm Len Topic, the Chair of Parliament, which means I serve the people you see on your screen as the facilitator, and that's what I'll be doing today. Before we go any further, as always, I'd like to ask our excellent interpreters to say a few words to explain how you can follow the process, the procedures on your device while hearing it in your own language, if it's Turkish, Russian, Spanish, or English. Let's start with our Russian interpreter. Good day to you.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Kirill.
Yes, Mr. Opek, Mr. Chairman, and all the members of Parliament, wish you good work for today, for the last day of the sitting. Напоминаю нашим русскоязычным слушателям, что все переговоры вы можете слышать в русском канале, никуда переключаться не нужно. Для вас сегодня, как всегда, работают 2 переводчика, Кирилл и Елена, а также переводчики на турецкий и испанский языки. Желаем вам успешной работы. Всего доброго.
Thank you very much. Let's go to our Turkish interpreter next.
Hello, good evening. Mr.
Hi,
Opek. Thank
good
you very
evening
much.
to you.
Thank you. Değerli Asgardia parlamenterleri, Asgardia parlamentosunun bir oturumuna daha hoş geldiniz. Yine tercümanlarınız Eren ve Alper olarak sizlere Türkçe ve İngilizce eş zamanlı olarak tercüme yapacağız. Türkçe tercümeyi Zoom pencerenizin alt kısmındaki küre ikonuna tıklayarak seçebilirsiniz. Söz aldığınızda tercih ettiğiniz dilde konuşmanız yeterli olacaktır. Sizin tüm söyledikleriniz diğer dile anında çevrilecektir. Hepinize verimli bir oturum dileriz. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. And finally, our Spanish interpreter. Greetings.
Greetings.
Hiya.
Excelente.
Hi.
Thank
Good
you.
to hear. Good to hear from you.
Same. Bienvenidos, estimados parlamentarios y ustedes en Asgardia TV, a este tercer día de la 10ª sesión parlamentaria del segundo Parlamento de Asgardia, la primera democracia digital en nuestro planeta. Las traducciones se estarán haciendo en los idiomas ruso, turco y español de una forma simultánea, es decir, pueden seleccionar el idioma que desean escuchar o quedarse en el canal principal, que es inglés. No tienen que hacer pausas cuando hablen, pero sí deben hacer pausado para hacer la mejor interpretación posible y que sus mensajes queden claros. Si tienen algún problema técnico a la hora de escuchar en su idioma, por favor levanten la mano o déjenlo saber en los mensajes para que lo puedan asistir. Eso es todo por ahora. Deseamos un exitoso tercer día de la sesión. Gracias.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. And it is because we have great interpreters and a very clever system that we save so much time. In the old days, we used all of the time because everything had to be interpreted one person after the next, but now it happens simultaneously. Please do remember to speak slowly so that people can interpret at a speed which is manageable. So let's move on. Yesterday, the first day we opened on Friday, and we did the normal announcements and opening of the voting. Yesterday, we had the government hour and we had legislation. And thank you very much for everybody who presented then. Today, two things happen. We go through the agenda and we get the results of the voting. You have just under 2 hours to vote. It will stop at 1700 UTC. 1700 UTC. So please do vote now, and then your vote will count. It's very strict. There's 1 hour, 53 minutes left to vote. Then that will be 48 hours for voting. And then before we finish, we'll get the provisional results of that voting, which I'll share with you. Now on to business. We don't have a guest speaker today. Essentially, yesterday we had our guest speaker in the government tower, and she was really excellent, very interesting what she had to say about the long-term isolation experiment. Really interesting. We're very grateful that the Prime Minister was able to organise that for us. Thank you. Shortly, we will get a report back from the Prime Directive Convention. I'll leave it for Ferda and John to lead on that. And after that, as always, we'll have reports from the committees, the implementation of work plans, and many of you will be able to use the presentations you have prepared for the Executive Congress, and it's fine to use them today. We'll go through all the 12 committees to do that. Then, as always, I will give you a chance to suggest any priority legislation you think we need to have. Often we don't have any proposed, but I give that opportunity. Then, shortly after 1700 UTC, I'll sum up the results of voting on the agenda of the meeting of the Parliament. And there are 5 things to vote on there. One's really the quorum count, and then there are the 4 pieces of legislation. So please do vote. It's important. Then we'll have closing remarks, the national anthem, and we'll close. I think we'll take just a little bit more than 2 hours today. That's what I'd expect. We'll have one short break in that time, maybe 2.5 hours. I expect to be finished by 1730 UTC. That's my estimate. Great, thank you. So let's start with the very interesting response to the Prime Directive Convention. I'm assuming, I haven't seen if John, yeah, John's there. Let me hand over to John, and you and Ferda may want to say something about that Prime Directive Convention, what it is, what happened, and what happens next. So, John, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Yes, I've prepared a presentation to give. Let me share my screen. Make sure I grab the right one. That should be it. And share. Huh, there we go.
Yep, we can see it.
Okay. It's got a short little video to start out with, and then I'll get into the presentation itself.
The future of humanity in space holds endless possibilities, from colonization to interstellar travel. Exploring these opportunities requires vision, innovation, and collaboration across nations. A legal framework is essential to ensure peaceful and sustainable expansion beyond Earth. Without clear rules, conflicts over resources or territory could jeopardize our future. Space law must address ownership, environmental protection, and conflict resolution. Terrestrial influences like politics and economics will shape how we explore the cosmos. Extraterrestrial factors such as alien life or cosmic events could redefine our path. Balancing these forces will determine whether humanity thrives or struggles in space. Colonizing Mars or building orbital cities could become reality within decades. Advances in technology will make long-term space habitation more feasible. But ethical questions about genetic adaptation or AI integration must be addressed. A unified legal system would prevent exploitation and ensure fair access for all. International cooperation will be key to managing shared resources like lunar water. Private companies must follow guidelines to avoid reckless commercialization of space. Protecting celestial environments is as important as preserving Earth's ecosystems. Encountering extraterrestrial life would challenge our laws and philosophies. Preparing for such scenarios requires scientific rigor and open-minded dialogue. Humanity's future in space depends on foresight, responsibility, and shared values. By building a strong legal foundation, we can secure a prosperous future among the stars. The Galactic Prime Directive focuses on building this legal framework for all humanity as we begin our cosmic journey. Thank you for watching. The future.
Hey, welcome to the Galactic Prime Directive Conference briefing. This will be an overview of preparations, outreach, and conference proceedings. This briefing provides a concise summary of events leading up to and the proceedings of the Galactic Prime Directive Conference, held virtually on September the 20th, 2025. The conference was designed to bring together experts and stakeholders from various sectors related to space, exploration, research, and diplomacy. Leading up to the conference, significant efforts were made to ensure broad participation and awareness. Over 75 email invitations were sent out to space agencies, space-related institutions, organizations, and businesses. To further expand outreach, more than 500 additional invitations were distributed across social media platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, X, formerly Twitter, and Slack. Both invitations and 3 commercial-style videos were shared to promote the event, each video offering a brief glimpse into what attendees could expect on the day of the conference. Although it was not possible to track all responses, it is estimated that these outreach efforts resulted in numerous connections and interactions between media streams, including likes, shares, and feedback, indicating active interest and engagement in the event. The Galactic Prime Directive Conference ran for a little over 2 hours in a virtual format. The event received numerous likes, shares, and was viewed by nearly 300 participants, reflecting a strong turnout for a specialized topic. The conference began with an introductory presentation by John Fine, the project coordinator, who also co-hosted the event alongside Lempic Opic, Chair of Parliament. The main session featured 3 distinguished panelists who addressed key topics relevant to space exploration and diplomacy. Dr. Brian Fulke provided an in-depth analysis of the parallels and differences between terrestrial and extraterrestrial medical practices. Dr. Sarah Clark discussed the complexities of health and wellness in the context of space, highlighting unique challenges and considerations. Lempic Opic presented an overview of diplomatic relations and procedures as they pertain to space, emphasizing the importance of international cooperation. The conference offered attendees the opportunity to actively participate by engaging with the panelists during a dynamic question and answer session, which contributed to an interactive and enriching atmosphere. Carol Lockhart, Ricky Sickles, and dedicated Asgardians played a pivotal role in maintaining audience involvement, thoughtfully addressing questions and comments to ensure meaningful dialogue throughout the event. In summary, the Galactic Prime Directive Conference proved to be a remarkable success, both in terms of outreach prior to the event and active engagement during the proceedings. The extensive promotional efforts, which included direct invitations and social media campaigns, ensured a wide and interested audience. The conference itself was characterized by insightful presentations and panel discussions that shed light on critical medical, wellness, and diplomatic challenges associated with the future of space exploration. These sessions also considered the foundational steps towards establishing a new interstellar space law. By bringing together a diverse array of experts and engaged participants, the event fostered meaningful dialogue and exchange of ideas. This collaborative atmosphere not only enriched the understanding of the issues at hand, but also set a valuable precedent for future initiatives related to the Galactic Prime Directive. Now, Chairman, with your permission, I'd like to show it's a video. It's about 9 minutes, but
yeah,
it's
sure.
Okay.
No problem.
It's well worth. It's totally relevant of what we're talking about, and I think it will help. And I think it's make sure it's.
What if humans made first contact with aliens? Dating back millennia, humankind has looked to the skies in search of answers, and long before we had any concept of outer space or our place in this big and often intimidating universe, early civilizations were already projecting stories of larger-than-life beings, gods and heroes onto the stars in a bid to make sense of both life on Earth and the wonders of the night sky. In short, we've always looked above for some kind of connection. At the dawn of the Age of Enlightenment, theories on heliocentrism, the belief that Earth and other planets revolve around the Sun, began to pick up steam. Inspired largely by Nicholas Copernicus's groundbreaking work, Commentariolus, leaders of science and philosophy started contemplating what else might exist out there. With the invention of the telescope and a greater understanding that the place which we call home was just one of many celestial bodies, the most daring minds hypothesized that we might not be alone in the universe. As early as 1686, when Bernard Lebovier de Fontenelle first published Conversations on the Plurality of Worlds, and perhaps even earlier than that, there has been discussion of not only other planets like our own, but of extraterrestrial life. The more we learn about space, the more plausible this once outlandish concept became. Indeed, while one may have once asked, do you believe in aliens, in the same way you might ask if someone believes in ghosts, given the scale of the known universe, the general scientific consensus in the 21st century is that it's nearly impossible for extraterrestrial life to not exist. Astronomers are regularly discovering distant planets that fall within the Goldilocks zone, a potentially habitable zone comparable to our own planet's place relative in distance and proportion to a star. Then there are various examples of life forms found on Earth throughout history which have proven capable of living in truly extreme conditions, encouraging us to acknowledge that life could have grown out of very different circumstances and in ways that are completely alien to us. Based on the incredible size of the universe and taking into account the many possible variables, increasing numbers argue that it's both foolish and a bit arrogant if we assume that we're the only intelligent life to have developed. According to some versions of the Drake equation, which is designed to estimate the number of advanced civilizations there could be, there might be as many as 4,590 alien civilizations in our galaxy alone. So, if alien life is all but guaranteed, where are they and when can we expect to make their acquaintance? Well, there's no easy answer to that question. The estimates vary wildly from within the next 10 years to sometime this century, while more pessimistic experts suggest that we won't be making first contact for at least another 1,500 years. Considering the fact that we seemingly have no idea as to when this inevitability will occur, there are some rather pressing questions that we need to address, like, how is first contact actually going to happen? How are we as a species going to react? And how will the confirmation of extraterrestrial life impact human history? For decades, we've been trying to establish first contact. We first reached out to the cosmos, or more specifically Venus, in 1962 with a message in Morse code which communicated the word Mer, which can roughly be interpreted as world, peace, village, or community. Since then, there have been various messages, radio transmissions, and songs transmitted out into the stars, with the SETI project, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, largely leading the charge. The general lack of radio response has earned our universe the nickname The Great Silence, but we've actually picked up a few weak signals and radio sources over the years. Sadly, most of these were dismissed as naturally occurring or unfortunate glitches. If and when we receive a response, however, the very first thing we should do is proceed with caution. Leading thinker Stephen Hawking, despite showing great enthusiasm for the concept of alien life, also warned that first contact could very well bring with it devastating consequences. The comparison he used was that of colonization in America. Unfortunately, it's a little too late to unsend the numerous messages that we've already broadcast. Humanity has made its presence known, and there's no going back. And considering how seemingly ill-prepared we are for a first contact scenario, our enthusiasm to shout, "Hey there," into the depths of space may have been a little short-sighted in retrospect. SETI does have a rough outline for how we should proceed in a first contact scenario. 1. Verify the authenticity of the signal and rule out natural causes. 2. Contact other research institutions for a second opinion, as well as the nation's government. 3. Contact the United Nations. 4. Go public. And 5. Discuss before responding. And that's pretty much all we've got. It's a rough guideline, but one that isn't actually legally binding. And even if it were, it's not like it presents us with much guidance on a global scale. Essentially, humanity isn't especially ready for the prospect of making first contact, which is what makes the question so scarily open-ended. One would hope that the world would rally together, put aside international differences, and act as a unified, peaceful planet to make a good impression, but our track record doesn't exactly inspire confidence. Chances are that the United Nations would take the lead, but the various world governments would likely want to make independent preparations, and that's where things could get really messy. Of course, it's also important not to get ahead of ourselves. Yes, first contact could trigger an immediate invasion of epic proportions, but first and foremost, there are more local and grounded considerations. For example, we're sending communications out into regions of space that we have no way of physically reaching. If we did make first contact, it could very well be with an intelligent species that, like us, are capable of sending long-range broadcasts but are incapable of visiting in person. And honestly, that might actually be the best case scenario. While contact with a hyper-advanced civilization could bring us forward leaps and bounds, with the most optimistic futurists hoping that alien tech could solve our energy, resource, and pollution crises, while also drastically advancing earthly medicine and space travel, there's something to be said for the safety of communicating from afar. We don't need to come face to face with aliens for them to change our lives. Even the most basic of confirmed first contacts could change human history and force us to re-evaluate our cultural identity. While the default human response to first contact, as depicted in popular media, has usually been one of fear and violence, one 2018 study should give humanity hope that we, as a species, might actually react better than our storytellers would have us believe. Arizona State University Assistant Professor of Psychology, Michael Varnum, presented his team's research at the American Association for the Advancement of Science in Austin, Texas, and generally speaking, they concluded that humans actually responded well when faced with the possibility of alien life. First, they ran a program analyzing the tone and angle of articles talking about alien life and found it to be overwhelmingly positive. Next, they did a case study with 500 people to gauge their responses to the discovery of life. Again, overwhelmingly positive. In the third part, they did a comparative assessment of the human response to the discovery of life on other planets and the ability to create artificial life, and people were much more afraid of the latter. Another potentially false assumption about making first contact is that it would necessarily be with a civilization of some sort. As we continue to send probes further into the depths of space, we could very well encounter non-communicative species of life similar in intelligence to the animals with which we share our world. In this case, first contact would be far more zoological in nature, and while such a discovery would help us to better understand evolution and the possibilities of life in this universe, the social, political, and technological ramifications wouldn't be nearly as substantial. Then again, it's also quite likely that the first signs of alien life that we encounter will be very simple microbes or single-celled organisms. It might not be as exciting as an interplanetary exchange of knowledge, but it would still serve to prove that life exists beyond Earth. Ultimately, we cannot predict when first contact will occur or how it will play out for humans. It could very well lead to a utopian future on Earth or a place for us in some sort of galactic federation of planets. Alternatively, it could see us wiped out in the blink of an eye for resources, or made into a slave race. First contact might be the start of a long-distance relationship spanning centuries before either species develops the tech to actually meet up. Or it could be as simple as a microbial confirmation that we're not alone out there. Whenever it happens though, this world will never be the same again.
Okay. And thank you. One humanity, one unity. I want to give special thanks to our sponsor and project leader for Ina, and the diligent work by the Asgardia Space Nation's Foreign Affairs Committee. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Really interesting. Let me go to Ferda next. Ferda.
Thank you very much. I am very sorry that I couldn't attend because of my emergency situation for the symposium, but I am very happy that they were successful. Also, the symposium was very bright. In the late time when I came back from the hospital to home, I watched the videos from Asgardia's YouTube channel, and I enjoyed it very much. I like to discuss, enter to the discussions for the next symposium. We should plan, and I will be happy to be there. Thank you, John. You done amazing job. Thank you very much to Sarah Clark, Dr. Sarah Clark, and for Brian Floke, and to you, dear Lambert Topik.
Thank you, and thank you very much for all the great work you've done. I should tell you that it was Ferda's idea in the first place. This whole concept, this whole process began with Ferda, and I think that we're world leaders on it now. That's because nobody else has really thought about it the way that we have. And we had a very good number of viewers. So that's the beginning of something which could be even bigger, in my view. So I really appreciate what you've done. And I think that we can make progress from there. Success would be if we have at least thought about the possible implications of meeting other life. We're unlikely to be able to get it right. But if we're at least prepared, then we know how we might react. Perhaps one of the most important things is that human beings work out what we can do in this situation. We can't work out what the other side will do. I have to say, I believe that any civilization which meets us is likely to be good, because the universe is a huge, big, lonely, empty place. And I just don't believe that if you found other life, you'd want to destroy it. But that's guesswork. Further.
Thank you very much. Whole idea was this: we are ready for making the imagination real, and we have to have a ground for it. We need to prepare the laws. We need to think about them if they become real. And all these discussions, symposiums are for our preparations, for research, for science, for the things that we are not seeing right now, and we will deal with it in the future. We need a big workload on our hands. As Asgardia, we have a lot of responsibility, and our symposium and projects will back up these, and we will solve the problems about the future in Asgardia. So we are calling people to work together with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. John.
Yes, well, it's interesting that you say that you think that if we did meet up with another species, that they would be friendly. And I think that study that they talked about in the video is really a good example that kind of backs up your hypothesis, because the scientists originally, when they did that study, they were kind of figuring that there would be a negative response because, we've been fed so much negativity towards aliens within our media, the movies and stuff. They're always attacking us and we're always attacking them. That's the way it's a lot of times it's portrayed. Very few movies have come out portraying another species that we meet up with as being friendly. But in the study, the people were positive. They actually wanted to meet aliens, and I watched a I think it was a PBS special where they did a investigative reporting on aliens that supposedly landed in, I think, Brazil, and it was interesting that the people there that saw them and everything, the evidence was almost overwhelming, and it was all taken very positively. The people actually wanted, but one of the things, and supposedly in their investigation, somebody, they couldn't say for sure, but they believed it was the United States government, but came in Brazil and covered everything up. They took the evidence. Supposedly, if there, if there was evidence, and they tried to intimidate the eyewitnesses and try to get them to say that they didn't see anything, etc. And when one of the persons asked them, "Why are you doing this?" and the answer from this person that was dressed, in a dark clothing, suit, tie, and whatnot, why are you doing this? The answer was because the public are not ready, and I disagree with that. And that study shows that we're ready. I mean, I think we're a lot better at handling a first contact situation, I think, in the public more so than the government. I think the government's the one that gets a little paranoid when it comes to that. But I, for one, would have no problem if an alien spaceship landed out in my backyard. I'd say, hey, yeah, let's go for a ride. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with that. And it wouldn't bother me one bit. I mean, yeah, my heart would race a little bit because it's a first time experience, but I would actually enjoy it. But and I think there's a lot of people around the world that actually think that way, and want a peaceful and sharing and whatnot with another species if we did make a first contact with species, and which is the way I hope it would come out. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to add that in.
Thanks, John. Ada.
Now, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, we can.
Thank you. Thanks for all the MP and visitors that we have in the meeting. About this program, congratulations about it, John. But in my opinion, or my humble opinion, since the project is about extraterrestrial aliens, it keeps saying to see this in 10 or 5 years with people, even that they are professional, are very not believe that past years, 5 years, these aliens already are in our planet, even in space, even on the water. Even that they are with us, and most of the people have seen it and contact, because the investigation only what I see is about people that they think they exist. They are expecting for them for 5 or 10 years to appear when they are already here. And the investigation should be about those people that already have contacted them and talked with them. And even your neighbor could be one of them, because most of them are similar as the human being. The only thing they don't eat meat, but they eat vegetables. And they are here with us, sharing our planet. Even contact with a lot of people, because some of the people, they really scared to see something like that. And I could say that most of the people that are religious, that they don't believe nothing else, they will be scared, of course, because they only believe in a piece of paper, what is written by their own human being. And we have to be prepared, like changing a little bit, and the story, and see those stories, the real stories that people have contact over here, and the invisible flying ship that could be in top of us that you cannot see it. There's a lot of evidence, and we have to be like including the safety and protection because all those species are out of the planet. There are millions of them different, not the same behavior. All those protect us because they are like us, but they don't have the three how you call compound that we have in our body, but they are more intelligent. They have more experience. They have technology that could help the human being to grow up and protect even us about with those that even in that world, the same thing that is happening in this world with a human being, that we have good and bad and medium people, they have the same problem. So I would include also, and I haven't seen that, maybe um to issue in that document the protection and how to be prepared in these cases, even that we are doing this like first year's class is growing, it's gonna appear like this. But we have to be prepared for real, even including in that to protect. Even our nation is a peaceful, and we love to receive everybody, but we have to protect our nation even in space and even in the land that we are right now. Sometimes some movie tell us how to be prepared. Some, as to I know, they include in some movie how to what you gonna see and what to prepare. Some are fictitious, but if we are intelligent, we could cut to that. So that's my humble opinion, Mr. Lamby. Thank you for.
Thank you very much. Yeah, there are other people who feel the same as you, that we have been visited already. And I have mentioned previously that I think that an advanced civilization may not physically come here. They might be able to do it through extrasensory perception. Further.
Thank you very much. We don't have any idea. In the symposium, they already talked about give no harm. And it was important because we don't know what's giving harm. We need to identify lots of things. We need a lot of research. This law gives a ground for moving forward step by step. It will be baby steps. And after that, maybe we will have more information to protect ourselves and some technology developing. We need to develop our technology about this also. So it's important. I'm at the same idea with Ida and John, but we have lots of to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John.
Yes. Well, I couldn't say what Ida was saying was I can't say it's I can't deny and I can't confirm. So and many of us are in that situation. I've may have met an alien or may not have. I couldn't tell you if I had or not. And I could be one myself for all I know. It just some people think that I am sometimes, but what I do know is that we need to have some kind of foresight, some kind of preparation, and what we've done with the Galactic Prime Directive is we've basically built a blueprint for dialogue, and what we want is we want the world to engage with that dialogue so that they can add their what they need to add to that blueprint as well. What the blueprint we created is basically what's already out there in a lot of the scientific community, and we used some stuff from our science fiction authors, and we used a lot from the international law is in it, you know. So and it's just a blend of the things that the best that we could find that the world has to offer. But now we actually need the world's voice, and that's what mainly the Galactic Prime Directive is to get the world's voice, get a collaborative effort, and with one voice where humans can say, hey, this is what we believe, and have that become protocol or law. It would be best if it becomes a law, sort of like the international space law. We want this to be an interstellar law. We want this to basically be the same journey that the law of the sea took, you know, where they when that first came about, and so or maritime law, you know, and the because it's unknown journey. We don't know what we're dealing with. We don't know how to deal with it really. And there's many perspectives on what will happen and what won't happen, and even alien contact. There's a lot of perspectives there, and but if aliens are here, I think they're here as agents, you know, to try to move humanity in a certain direction, and I don't think, I don't want to put, Ada mentioned religion, and I believe that God gave us talents, and God gave us science, and God gave us all these things for a reason. He didn't it's just not for not a reason. And I think if we use those talents and what we have and our way of thinking in a positive way, that no wrong can come of it, and not just positive but responsible, and ethical, you know. And so, and that's going to be a long journey. There's a lot to continue on. I don't expect we'll do anything before the actual executive Congress, because we need to prepare for that, and it's a very short time between now and it. So I do suspect after the executive Congress will come up with another schedule. I know Furter had mentioned once a month, but maybe the advisory board can meet once a month, but that would be a little hectic to try to have a conference once a month, because it takes about 3 months to get all that invitations sent. It took me a while to do all that stuff. So and that takes time, and we'll need that time to actually produce videos to be posted and all that, because it has to be advertised. If you don't advertise it, nobody's going to know to be there, you know. And if you don't invite people, they're not going to respond back. It's that simple. We can say all day that we're excited about it, but our goal is to get the world excited about it. So it's the world that we got to bring into the conversation. And I gave her a report on a lot of the positive responses on one of the Q&A sessions that we got back from legitimate space agencies and organizations. So, and even though they didn't want to send a panelist, they still gave us a response back that I believe is mostly positive, and some of them actually want me to continue to stay in touch with them and keep them updated of what we're doing. So, and this is good. One of them was a space law. They write space law. So, and this is good. This is good. This is a start of a relationship, and making those networking those connections, and making those connections, and at least they know we're here. At least they know what we're doing, you know. And so if we continue to invite them over and over, eventually, hey, they might send us some panelists. Eventually, they might bring some And if they get excited enough about it, then we'll have, or it'll increase our audience as well. So yeah. And so when the next conference comes, I ask everybody to please advertise, advertise, advertise. Share it on your social media platforms. I will be sharing videos and what have you. You can definitely find them on the Asgardia Facebook platform. I'll definitely be sharing it there for sure. And you should be able to find it on X. Some platforms are actually very hard to share stuff on because they won't accept the video format that I use. But and I have to do other methods to try to get them through there. But anyway, if you see it come across your feed, share it. Share it as many people as you can possibly share it. Tell them how excited you are about it, because it's that excitement that's going to keep us going forward. And every step that we can take forward is the right step in the right direction. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Ariadne, Ada, Ferda. Ariadne, you're next.
Gracias, gracias. Bien, por ahí
Thank
hay
you.
información de Venus.
There's information about Venus and other asteroids where they have found what we have in our bodies, amino acids, and all of this. And probably when Aida mentions about religion, I stay thinking about that part where they say that we are made in the image and liking of God. I think we are finding that we can see people like green people or blue people, and we are finding other planets with people similar to us because we can find similarities with other planets, but we don't know. That's always stays in speculation. I think it's really interesting that we are doing this, and yes, we can do it every month. I think you can find a lot of help with information communication comedy. Ferda can talk with Ross and maybe motivating him in finding helping you with the videos. There's people from Spain have talked to me about like what's going on. That's an interesting subject. There's 4 Anglo people, and there is no subtitles, and the subject is really impressive. And I said, well, English has created an environment, global environment in the planet. In any place in the world, if you speak in English, people are going to understand you. And I think that what the Minister of Education has done and placing a few subtitle options in his programs, it's an example that we shouldn't that we shouldn't stop contemplating, because if we want to attract the public and Anglo, and if they find themselves comfortable with people that only speak English, then do it. But if Asgardia has 12 languages, please include that. If we have 12 spaces with different languages, that would be a suggestion. Put the subtitles in the language that you find more viable. In this case would be in Turkish, because the program is created in between Ferdinand, that has a lot of followers in Turkey, and obviously John Finder has a lot of followers in the United States. But we could start with something, and that part which should be very convenient. That's a subject that could attract a lot of people, how John Fine says, and we as a nation, a space nation, could contemplate it as a reality, and what's going on with the International Space Station. They have found viruses, they have found bacteria resistant to, impressively resistant. Maybe Luca could expand more on this subject, but imagine how many viruses got there through asteroids, and they stayed sleeping in millennia. Maybe with global warming, they start to wake up. Maybe COVID, where did COVID come from? And maybe it came from space. And that type of bacteria and virus we could find when we are in our space arc. I think that what Aida mentioned in creating protocols of protection, probably finding the direct extraterrestrial matters. In Mars, there's bacteria they have found that many experts are still thinking about. Maybe not green beings, maybe they're very aggressive microorganisms. And Hopkins said that humanity would be confronting a lot of dangers. I congratulate you guys, and what this is this project that it could create a conscience beyond the fans, beyond speculation. There's a lot of scientists that are interacting with the subject, and hopefully, like Lowe was announced to be presented, but maybe he was doing a lot of things and he couldn't be in the first program. Maybe he can do it in the future. That's my comment, and congratulations. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Ada next and then further.
Yes, I just want to explain so you don't have the confusion. That when I say religion is because some humans, they are attached only on what the Bible said or the book they have, because we have different kind of humanity here in this planet. They don't believe nothing else. So they don't believe nothing else. They ain't gonna believe in aliens. They would think that they are devils. That's what I mean in that occasion. But I know John's doing a good job. I will try to invite people that has experience with this kind of issues or this kind of humans or aliens, whatever. We are alien anyway for them, and to update more, grade more the potential of this document, this proposal, because it's very good and it will help all the people that will live in Asgardia Space Station, especially the kids that are growing right now, to understand when they see something like that or they are working with them at the same time. Thank you, Mr. Lambie and MP.
Thank you very much indeed. Further.
Çok teşekkür ederim Aydın.
Thank you very much, Aida, for your nice words. Yes, we have to work all together in order to create the background. I think it's time now. And that's why we are willing to do any kind of activity. John will be definitely the leader in this process, because our committee as the international relations will have really nice and a lot of projects. And of course, the decisions will be taken collectively. But I fully agree with what our colleagues have just mentioned here. And in the next years, you can rest assured that we will be very busy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. Very interesting debate, and I appreciate the effort John and Ferda in particular have done in terms of this piece of work. Last word to John, and then we'll move on. John?
Yes, well, and thank you, Ferda, and thank you, Ada, and thank you, Ariana, and for your comments. They are all great comments, very, very, very nice. And yes, I agree with everyone there. I can see your point of views wholeheartedly. I know exactly where you're coming from, and because I experienced those same thoughts within my own head, and I think that's the great thing about Asgardia is one of the things I've noticed about Asgardia is how like-minded we are, and with my colleagues that and everyone here I consider a colleague and a friend. And actually, I've been with you all for what, 8 years, and you're more like family, more so than maybe my own, not my family that lives here with me, but like the family I grew up with. I know you all better than I do them. So, but I just want to let everybody know that I really appreciate everything that you do, and thank you for your comments. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. Thanks to everyone. And again, to Ferda and John. Ferda for creating this entire project, and John for being so active within it. I hope that we will be able to lead the world on this subject. And I'm fairly optimistic that we will. And I'm looking forward to you sharing this with the head of nation at the Asgardia Executive Congress as well. Good. Okay, thank you. So we finished that item. Let's move on. That was a bit like having a guest speaker, actually, because it was so interesting and so important. Okay, you have 58 minutes left to vote. I'm going to go through the committees in the following order. We move to the next item, which is report backs from the committees. And the order will be information and communications, citizenship, foreign affairs, justice, trade and commerce, science, youth and education, culture, safety and security, finance, equity and resources, and manufacturing. If the chair isn't here and they haven't got a nominee, that's okay. Then we'll just carry on. And as I say, you've got 57 minutes left to vote. See how long this takes. And then after that, we'll go to the other items. And I'm expecting we'll probably be finished in about 1.5 hours, but we'll see. We have a maximum of 5 hours, but I don't think we will need it. So information communications, I'm not sure that Ross is here, but we have got a good presentation from him for the Asgardia Executive Congress. So I won't do it for him, but we will share that. The documents from the Asgardia Executive Congress will be shared with everybody over time anyway. So citizenship, do we have citizenship here today? Okay. Once again, all of these individuals will be attending at the AAC, Asgardia Executive Congress. That's why I'm a bit more relaxed about it today, because in 1 month's time, all the chairs will be meeting and there'll be a major report from that meeting. And I would expect us all to have action steps for each committee as a result of that meeting. Foreign Affairs, I know, is here. So over to you, Ferda, if you'd like to add anything. We already know what you've been doing, so we know you've been very busy, but let me go to Foreign Affairs anyway.
Sürprizimizi gelecek ay Dubai'ye
Well,
saklıyoruz.
our surprise is reserved for
And
Dubai
to
next.
turn it in, we already done the business plans for 10 projects and 2 extra projects we are bringing for a special Dubai. And also we are planning to back up for Youth and Education Committee with Mr. Sabahattin and John Fine work together. And we are planning to coordinate their program for the Dubai. And also, you know, we are working with Mr. Uğur for the Culture Committee for his projects, and he's bringing 2 surprises with him, which foreign affairs projects related. I don't know what extra can I add to this. I'm keeping the presentation for the Dubai.
That's fine. That's not a problem. You've been very busy. We know you have. And as I said, this is not a test. It's just an opportunity to share. And I don't want people to do unnecessary work. There's no point in just presenting for the sake of presenting. And all the chairs will be very busy next month anyway. And I guess in the run up to what is almost exactly a month away now. Most will be traveling on the 28th of October, I think, and arriving 29th. So thank you. Any questions we'll do this in groups of 3. So information, communication, citizenship, foreign affairs. Any questions or comments that anyone wants to make about those three committees? Okay. Foreign affairs is exciting. John.
Yeah, my question, of course, is for Ferda and you, Mr. Lambert. You mentioned that you wanted a briefing for the Galactic Prime Directive for the HON. Now, what I had planned was and I think Ferda can correct me if I'm wrong. I think Ferda's going to let me give that briefing and introduce me when she's doing her presentation and say, well, John wants to present about, because I can't do it under trade and commerce because it's not a trade and commerce event. It's a foreign affairs event. So Ferda has to.
May I?
Yeah, has to run that through her when she when she does her briefing, she has to introduce me. And all I was going to do basically is what I just presented to you. Without the last video, and there might be one slide with what future intentions of what we're going to do, but that was it. That was all I was going to do. If that's okay with Ferda and you, then I'll go ahead and make those plans.
That's fine with me, Ferda. We need to be fairly brief because we don't have that much time.
I totally keep that presentation for Dubai because I will be landing the ball to your corner.
Okay.
Good, okay. Great. Thank you, John.
Hayır, çeviri tam olmadı. Kusura bakmayın, düzeltiyorum. İşi sana paslayacağım. Ben kendim
Yes, I will pass that on to you. After talking about my own projects, we will talk about or introduce the Prime Directive, and then you will present that project. And then we will learn from the head of nation what he wants us to do. Is that okay?
That's fine with me, John. Yeah, it's fine with John too. Thank you. So we have a plan. That's a good plan. Okay, thank you. And thank you, Ferda, for being so busy. It's a very hard-working committee. Let's move on to Justice, Trade and Commerce and Science. So Justice. Peter, over to you.
Thank you, Chairman. I often, at this point, feel like the poor relation in the sense that we never really have any exciting projects like so many of the other committees. And when you look at the work that's being done on the Galactic Prime Directive, it is so amazing and overwhelming. But we are gatekeepers in the Justice Committee. So any legal problems that arise or any issues that have legal implications, we will deal with them. Usually quietly on a one-to-one basis, but we deal with them. And with the working out of the Galactic Prime Directive and the thoughts of international or intergalactic law. This is where we will come into our own. We also are behind the dispute resolution legislation of Asgardia, so we will take a dispute and resolve it without going to war. We never go to war in Asgardia, but we can not adjudicate, but we can deal with a settlement if there is a dispute. This is kind of what we do. I do have one project which I'm very keen on, which when we are in Dubai, I intend to discuss with our foreign minister and with the head of nation, which is the acquisition of a land base on Earth, which will enable us to argue our case with the United Nations for recognition, which that could be a major step forward for us. So I intend to discuss that because I can't make that decision myself, nor with my committee. We need the head of nation and we need our excellent foreign minister to work with us. And I'm very confident about it and very excited about it. But that's what justice does. So we are here. We are here for every member of the Asgardian Parliament with any legal issues. We also have a brilliant Minister of Justice and we can deal with anything we're thrown. So we are here. Don't forget that we are here and we're here to help and to work with you on all legal matters. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. And it is useful to have such good legal advice for our Parliament and for colleagues here as they do their work. It's really very, very useful. Let's go on to trade and commerce. Back to you, John.
Okay. Thank you, Lemeth. Yes, you know me. I always got a presentation, so
That's good. That's good. Work is good.
let me share my screen again. Let's see. Sure, I share the right one. Okay.
We see it.
Yes, but you might want to pop to the first, there you go.
Okay, this is the Trade and Commerce Committee Progress Report. And of course, these are our members. I won't go over their names, but okay, we have a famous quote, and this is in honor of Charlie Kirk, who actually somebody I had a lot of respect for. Didn't necessarily agree with everything he stood for or didn't stand for, but I thought he was a great person and a great communicator. And so I thought in honoring him, those of you who didn't know him, he was a famous activist here in the United States, and he recently had lost his life. And so I wanted to honor him in this presentation. If you believe in something, you need to have the courage to fight for those ideals, not run away from them or try to silence them. And that was in honor of Charlie Kirk. He was an American activist, father, and husband. Some synonymous quotes that go along with that is only those who risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. And that was from T.S. Eliot, a famous author. Most of you should or probably know or run into his name before. And I can say from personal experience, I know exactly what he's talking about. Definitely when I was in the military, because they were always pushing us past what we thought we could go to get us to go further. So yes, I definitely know that. And it's good to know your limitations. And then the last one is courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. And that is from Winston Churchill, who was a famous British prime minister. Our mission and purpose has not changed. It'll always remain the same. And the Trade and Commerce Committee works closely with Parliament and the Minister, focusing on legislation that supports Asgardia's involvement in the new space economy and international relations. The committee's goal is to frame laws that foster revenue-generating assets and strengthening connections with the United Nations and the global business community. And I repeat these every time we have these because this may be the first time that in our audience somebody is seeing this, and I want them to know what trade and commerce is all about. So some of you are like, "Oh, that's the same thing he said last time," but our mission and purpose is never going to change. So the only reason I repeat it is, like I said, this may be the first time somebody in our audience is seeing this, and I feel it's important to let them know what Trade and Commerce Committee stands for. Our focus, the Trade and Commerce Committee aims to connect Asgardia with the global economy through legislation, high-level business relationships, and collaborative communications. Its key focus areas include creating revenue-generating projects, fostering transparent communication, and ensuring unity and synergy within Asgardia. And these are our pillars, our key pillars that we stand on: communication oriented, pass oriented, network oriented, and community oriented. Our future goals, the Competition and Fair Trade Act. We are pleased to announce this act was approved by the HON with decree number 85, and it was approved June 2nd, 2025. We want to give our deepest gratitude and appreciation to all Asgardians who supported us in this endeavor. The Asgardia Opportunity Digital Content Authorization legislation. Committee member Alexander Melankoff has proposed two remarkable legislative documents that were sent to the LMRG for protocol review. These programs aim to provide Asgardians with opportunities to earn money while bolstering Asgardia's economic sphere. Key objectives of these initiatives include increasing the number of Asgardian residents, enhancing resident retention rates, fostering patriotism, and contributing to the economy. We are optimistic that we can find a way to develop these initiatives into a protocol. And a update of that is that we are going to, part of our conversation with the HON, our private conversation, is to try to negotiate as advancing these not as protocols, but as legislative initiatives, because in researching them as protocols, they really don't fit into a protocol format, the way they're written and the way that we would want them to be implemented. So I'm going to try to renegotiate that while I'm there. So it never hurts to try. Asgardia Consumer Protection Act became law with decree number 84 on Aries 6/0009, which is 3 March 2025. We want to give our deepest gratitude and appreciation to all Asgardians who supported us in this endeavor. Our Above Space Initiative, Asgardia Industrial Space Park. This initiative seeks to establish a groundbreaking platform for conducting operations in space, while simultaneously creating a revenue-generating space station to position Asgardia at the forefront of the emerging space economy. The project has received approval from the Asgardia Project Coordination Institute to advance to phase 1 of the investment dossier. This project feedback from experts at Above Space is currently under review by a dedicated team of specialists who are collaboratively refining the project based on these insights. The committee remains optimistic about achieving a successful outcome and is actively exploring alternative approaches that could further enhance the initiative's prospects. Those alternative approaches we will be presenting at the Executive Congress. Currently, we are preparing a 3-tier proposal to be presented at the Executive Congress, highlighting key strategies and alternatives, which we hope leads to a meet and greet to be held at Huntsville, Alabama, USA, with key Asgardia and Above stakeholders. The Asgardia 2 launch project, in conjunction with various stakeholders, our committee persistently endeavors to devise a cost-effective satellite system for deployment in outer space. Under the guidance of Chairman Benedetto Professo, we have established a working group composed of Asgardians who are wholeheartedly committed to identifying this solution. We maintain a positive outlook regarding the future prospects of this project. Committee Awards Program. We recognize that some individuals among us have made remarkable contributions to Asgardia by promoting it to the global community. Any individual who collaborates closely with the Trade and Commerce Committee and meets the established criteria will be eligible to receive an award from the committee. And 7 and 8 are just standard procedures that our committee will always commit to. So we underscore the ongoing necessity for collaborative support from legal organizations to address international trade and commerce in alignment with Asgardia's ARC's financial objectives. Your support is critical to this endeavor, and we sincerely value your essential contribution to our efforts. We stress the ongoing need for your support in our public relations activities, legislative initiatives, and all committee and government relations. Your future endeavors, your continued collaboration is vital for the success of our future endeavors. And we look forward to working together on these critical initiatives. Timeline achievements. Year 1, the E-Commerce Act became Decree number 74, August of 2023. Year 2, Digital Property Act became Decree number 80, July 2024. Year 3, Consumer Protection Act, Decree number 84, March 2025. Year 3 again, Fair Trade and Competition Act, Decree number 86, June 2025. For year 4, we hope that the Above Space project is initiated and opportunities and digital content legislation either becomes protocols or laws. And year 5 is to be announced. It's an open forum for future advancements and next Parliament prep. We really hadn't got anything scheduled for it yet, but it's just an open forum right now to figure out what we're going to do. But we got a ways before we get to year 5, so we're okay. And thank you, one humanity, one unity. And that's it.
Thank you very much, John. Any questions for John? You're a very busy member of Asgardia, and it's very much appreciated. Very, very good what you do. Thank you, John. Very high caliber of work and effort that you're putting in. So I really appreciate that. Let's go to science next. Luca, if Luca's here.
Hello, Chair.
Hi, good to hear from you. Over to you, sir.
Hello, and hello, everyone. And I thank John for his presentation, which is usually making every other presentation following it like completely disappear. But this time I'm going to be better than him in one thing, which is the repetition issue. John says that he repeats parts of the presentation for the new people. In my case, I think in this case I will be again repeating more or less the same information as in recent times because the activity has been very low. So this is my first bit of report of the science committee. Very low activity again. Totally my fault, responsibility because of my overwhelming work. But I hope to get better, not this month, but the next month, definitely after the meeting in Dubai. So our science committee, actually we didn't even meet in the last month. Last meeting was in the summer, in August, I think. We discussed, we keep on discussing how to deal with the environmental act that we want to play with. And this is very complex, so it's still being, let's say, we reason about it without yet having a clear idea of how to proceed. I think this will be much clearer after the Dubai meeting because I need to discuss these issues with the Minister of Science and maybe even Prime Minister if she's willing to, and anyone else, of course, other chairs of relevant committees. But I looking forward a lot to discuss with Floris Witt about some lines that we were been discussing a long time, but still haven't taken form. I'm talking, for example, about the ideas of enabling the Asgardia Academy of Science, or starting at least the process of creating that. It was one of the targets that we had in the past. But for this target, we definitely need interface with the ministry because it's partly an executive act. So we're going to need their support. So I think this is more or less, I don't think I have much more to tell. We will we will proceed with this environmental act, which should be similar to the space act that was passed last year, or maybe 2 years ago now, in which we want to make a framework law with a very, let's say, stating the fields of interest for that legislation, the environmental legislation, some of which have been already treated in other, like we heard yesterday about space debris, for example. And I think the idea of the Environmental Act could collect all those smaller but more specific legislation under one single hood. This is more or less the original idea. About Asgardia 2, I'm still interested in proposing something together with my colleague and Deputy Chair Angelo Adamo, who's an astronomer, professional astronomer. We're trying to find out if there's any experiment that it's at reach for, let's say, the finances and the dimensions of Asgardia that can be flown on a small ship spacecraft, because we think that it will be crucial also to do some even very basic science with that. That will give a nice sign, I guess, to the community. Finally, just a few words on the endeavor that Ferda and John are taking on. I think this is a very beautiful work, and I promised at some point that I would give my support in terms of like participating to the creation of that, which never happened again. But I think there's still time for that, and I promise I will play a little bit with that. I think this is all from me, and back to you, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments for Luca? Don't blame yourself. You're a very busy person and you do make a very useful contribution. I guess as we get closer to putting things in space, your committee will get more busy as well. Further, and then John.
Bizim projelerimize gösterdiği ilgiden dolayı
Thanks
kendisine
very much for
teşekkür
the
ederim.
attention you have shown and interest you have shown to our projects.
Bizimle birlikte çalışmaya başlayabilmek için hazırlanmış.
We are
Projeler
preparing
hep beraber
so
Dubai
that we can
toplantısından
start
sonra
working on them all
iyi işler
together. After the
çıkaracağımızı
Dubai meeting, I
düşünüyorum.
believe that
Teşekkür
we are going to be working on some excellent business. Thank you.
Thank you. And John.
Yes, well, I'm gonna hold you to that, Luca, because we definitely need panelists, and you would be perfect as a panelist. Your expertise in your field would work out perfect for what we're doing. So I definitely would like to bring you in as a panelist when we make our next conference. So and we'll give you plenty of time in advance to go ahead and to be able to schedule that. Yeah. So okay.
Thank you. Go on.
Yes. Yeah.
Go on, Luca.
Oh no, just I was thanking John for the understanding. Great. I would be really happy to be part of it, and I might have some ideas of something that could help. But yeah, let's see. Let's talk about that in Dubai.
Thank you very much indeed. Okay, let's move on. You have just under half an hour to vote, by the way. And please do vote. Please vote. Youth and education next. Well, we know pretty much what's happening there, because we've seen Sabahattin given a very useful presentation yesterday. One of the pieces of legislation that I'm hoping you will vote for. So let me just add, I can't see Sabahattin here, but that's going to be a huge piece of work for Sabahattin, because we're trying to create an entire education system, and that's for lifelong learning, really. And as I said yesterday, this is all based on the work which was done originally by Corner. Really great work, and now we're expanding it to a much wider set of bits of legislation. It could not be one piece of legislation, it was just too big. So we're starting with the principles, and then we'll go into the other areas. So thank you to Sabahattin for that. Further.
Teşekkür ederim. Kendisi aslında
Thanks
chatte
very
ufak
much.
bir sıkıntı yaşadığını aktarmıştı bize.
On the chat box, he already said that he was having some problems. Majority of his presentation was already done while reading the law. So majority of his presentation has already been delivered during his presentation on the Youth and Education Act. Within 5 minutes, he will be here, but if he can't make it, probably 80-90% of his presentation has already been delivered yesterday. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Well, what we'll do is we'll carry on, and we'll come back and ask if he wants to add anything to his presentation. That's what we'll do then. So we'll carry on, and when Sabahattin's here, then we'll come back to him. You have 27 minutes left to vote, by the way. I'll just keep reminding you, just in case you have not voted. Great. Let's move on to the next one. In the order I was saying, Culture Committee. I'm not sure if Ugo is here, but we know that Ugo has been very busy. Oh, yes, he is here. Ugo, is there anything you would like to say about the Culture Committee?
Buradayım Sayın Başkan. Evet, şu anda sesim geliyor herhalde Sayın
Can you hear me,
tercüman.
by the way?
Yes,
we can hear.
Thank you. Yes.
Peki, Sayın Başkanım, öncelikle
Distinguished Chairperson, first of all, I would like to thank our interpreters because they are doing some very important job. They are it is thanks to them we could gather here, because thanks to them we feel more comfortable, we can understand each other better. First of all, at the beginning of my presentation, I would like to salute the space nation Asgardia and citizens of our nation and members of parliament. 345th person who approved Asgardia Constitution. And right after the birth of my daughter, she was registered as a citizen of Asgardia before she was registered as a citizen of my nation. So my daughter is now 5, and I will always be proud to have her registered first as the citizen of Asgardia. I would like to I would like to show my loyalty to our nation, and I would like to say that I will stand loyal to this nation. And hereby, I would like to make a call to the rest of the global human society. Please come and join us. Be part of us. Please witness the first baby born in space. Please be a part of the space nation that is going to be the first space nation. Now, I would like to proceed with the Culture Committee presentation. I would like to talk about the achievements of my committee in terms of one of our projects. And during my Dubai presentation, I'm going to go into the details. Now, in the previous digital meeting, I had a file titled Declarative Copyright or Basic Copyrights. And I began working on it, and it's now complete. I proceeded with the tests with the volunteers. The first aim of this project was to increase the number of Asgardia citizens, and second one was to ensure the inflow of solar into the Asgardia Children's Fund. I would like to talk about the data of my declarative copyright file. Because the test phase has just been completed, the samples are very limited, like Madame Ariadne. I would like to talk about people who volunteered for the test and got their work registered. First person, myself, Uğur Aydın, my Raiden project has been registered. Secondly, Madame Ariadne. She joined to our test with 4 files, 3 of them approved. 1 file is now pending because she decided to add this later on. From a writer's point of view, I have seen that this facilitates the things a lot for the authors. And if Madame Ariadne would like to say a couple of words on this, I would really appreciate. And thirdly, Madame Ferda submitted 2 academic studies, and 4, one of our committee chairs, Mr. Sabahattin, submitted his Asgardia Space Games file for the test. Now, as a result of this test, I would like to talk about the prospect of increasing the number of Asgardian citizens thanks to such a file. As an addition to the file sent by Madame Ariadne, she asked me if it's possible for other people to have their works registered and copyrighted. And I said yes, but firstly, they have to be Asgardian citizens. So Madame Ariadne understood this because she was also involved in the cultural committee. That practice has the prospect of increasing the number of citizens for Asgardia, because if they would like to get any copyrights registered in Asgardia, it will be possible for them to fill in some very simple forms and then submit their proposals. Next, Madame Ferda, apart from her own files, she submitted a non-citizen file, 2 different academic studies. She sent me files by 2 files by a non-Asgardian. Now let's have a look at the other side of the test. So I approved them at the testing phase. Yes, we can also show that there is the possibility to increase the number of citizens. Now, can we also increase the money flow to the Asgardian Child's Fund using this system? Was that a successful test? No. Proudly, I would like to say the following. In my file that I approved, I have transferred $5 to Asgardia Children's Fund. This may be very small amount. This is a small step, but a big step for humanity. Let's put it like this. As a matter of rule, as a legislative rule, I transferred $5 per file I have registered under the declarative copyright. And Madame Ariadne also transferred $5 for each of the files she got registered. So thanks to this project, there is a certain money inflow to Asgardia Children's Fund. So Madame Ariadne transferred voluntarily $15. And I have been sent the screenshot by Madame Ariadne to put it in my archive. And Madame Ariadne sent me another file and transferred another $5. So in total, $25 have been transferred. Madame Ferda, for her to be able to get her 10 files registered, she transferred $50 to Asgardia Children's Fund. And I'm very proud. You know me very well. I am with you since 2016. And within Asgardia, I did my best to monetize solar within Asgardia to increase the liquidity of solars inside Asgardia. For example, sometimes I sent a couple of solars to people to get their feedback on my designs. So I spent money to get people's opinions. And I have witnessed some occasions where people transferred some solar for my work. Now, here you see all the transparent statistics of my project test. Inventory is saved in my computer. I have all the data. I told Mr. Lemit Öpik that I was in my hometown, in my village, when I was first elected as the Culture Committee Chair. I'm still in that village, but I have all my files ready. My archive is open, and if you would like to be a part of this test, I would like to ask for one thing. You can send me a poem that you wrote. You can send me a painting that you painted. You can send me a visual that you created, or you can send me a short story that you wrote. Whatever you send me, I'm going to send you a small form, a very simple form, and then you log into your Asgardia Solar account. You will just transfer $5 to Asgardia Children's Fund. You will send me the screenshot, and I'm going to send you a copyright license which says that your work has been copyrighted, has been registered. You will hear more from me in Dubai, but until then, I'll be working very hard. Now, this is the screenshot by Ariadne. Please have a look at the files that I have presented to you, and then we can talk about them later on. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much for that comprehensive summary. Any questions? Any questions for Ugo at this time? And I'm looking forward to seeing all of the chairs at the conference. John, then Ariadne. John?
Yeah, well, I just want to commend Uger on his work. He's definitely been diligent and these areas that he's promoting, and it actually it's some of the laws that we've already passed. It's putting those into action, which is exactly what we need to see. And it's also very well related to the one of the things our committee's working on right now with Alexander Melikov with the opportunity legislation that we have, because that's exactly what that legislation would promote. So yes, I totally am 100% in support with him, and I would love to talk to him when we get to Dubai about it. And yeah, I think this is great. I like what they're doing, and uh, yeah, I think we need to coordinate also with the Trade and Commerce Minister so that also so that he can, especially when it copyright, so that he can actually put that in his. It might be equity and resources. I really don't know right now. Copyrights actually fall under the Trade and Commerce Minister, but that's mostly just dealing with business. I really don't know how it would work for authorship. So yeah, it's interesting. I'm not even sure we have a minister that's taken that charge yet. So Uger, you may be creating a whole new process that your minister can, or he may already have talked to you about this. I don't know. That would be interesting to know if he has. But yeah, thank you for your efforts. I think they're great.
Ariadne, then finally Uger. Ariadne?
Gracias, Ugur. Yo
Thank
no
you, Ugur.
pongo más de 5 solares
I
porque
don't
sabes que
put
soy
any
muy
more than 5
prolífica
solars.
y voy
I
a
am
hacer de
very
este, voy a
prolific,
poner
and I
5, 5,
think
5, 5 en
I
cada
think I'm gonna put
artículo que
5
voy a hacer
solars
trabajar
to
mucho
every
con,
article
con
that I
el
send you.
registro de mi
I'm
trabajo.
gonna make you work with a lot of
Lo que
the
me
registry of my work.
entusiasma es que
What
en un
excites me
momento en
is
que
that
todos los residentes que
in a
tengan
moment of
algo que aportar en cuanto a
any
arte
resident, a resident that has anything
poesía
to
o
bring
textos
uh,
técnicos o lo que sea,
the poem,
ellos vean la
text,
posibilidad de que su obra
technical text,
quede
and if they see
registrada
the
bajo
possibility that their
sello
work stays
del
registered
comité y
under
del
a seal
Ministerio
of the
Privado
committee
de Cultura.
and the ministry, eventually in
Recuerdo
culture.
muy bien cuando
I
estuvimos
remember
juntos en
very
el
well when
Comité
we
de
were
Ciudadanía,
in the
en esa ilusión que
citizenship
teníamos de
committee,
que
and that illusion that we
pudiéramos crear
had
un archivo
that in one moment
que
we
fuera
could
protegido
create
de
an
la
archive
radiación
that could
solar
be
y que se
protected
encontrara en
and
nuestra
by
arca
from
en
solar
el futuro.
radiation,
Y
and
yo
we could
creo
have it
que
in our
no
ark in the
solamente quedó
future.
como un sueño,
I
sino que
think
va
that
a
it
ser
was
una
not
realidad.
just a dream,
Yo
it
tengo
is going to
deseos
become
de
a
poder
reality.
compartir con la
I
gente
wish
de la comunidad
to
de
share with
escritores
the people, with
asgardianos
the community of
el,
writers in Asgardia,
ya el proyecto en
the
sí y
project
poderlo
in
promover.
itself,
Todavía
to
faltan
be
muchos
able to promote
puntos
it.
y
There
como
are
bien
many
has dicho,
points that
solo
are
es
still
para
missing,
residentes.
but so
Porque,
far,
porque
residents,
finalmente
as
el que yo
he
en mi
mentioned.
blog o yo en mis
Finally,
redes sociales diga,
the fact
este
that in my
archivo ha
blog
sido
and in my social
registrado
media,
por el
I say
Comité
that
y
this
el
archive has
Ministerio de
been
Cultura
registered by
de
the committee
Asgardia.
and the
Creo que es
Ministry
un
of
plus.
Culture in Asgardia.
Aparte
I
de
think
que
that's a plus.
vamos a ayudar a que se
Aside from the
incremente
fact that we are
la,
gonna
los
help the
solares que se
incrementation of
están creando para la
solars that
inversión
are being created for the
todo lo
investment
que se tiene que
of
implementar
everything that
para el
has
bebé
to be
asgardiano.
implemented for the
Sabemos
baby in
muy bien que
Asgardia.
el CEO que tiene a su cargo
we know that the CEO that has under the charge of
el nombre que tiene
the name that
que
it
le ha dado
has,
a esa
the
compañía,
name that
pues
has
sabe muy bien
been
cómo reunir el dinero
named that
y sabe
company.
muy bien
They
cómo
know
crear
how
los
save
vínculos,
that money,
pero
and
a
they know how
nadie le
to
hace
create
falta,
the connections, but
nadie le sobra la ayuda
nobody
y la ayuda que nosotros
has
podamos dar con esos
doesn't need help.
pequeños
The help that
aportes
we
solares
can
creo que
bring
van a ser
with
bien
the
recibidos por el
solar,
doctor
that
Edberg
would be
y por todo su
well
equipo.
received by the Dr.
Y
Edberg
pues finalmente, Ugur,
and by all
gracias.
his
Yo
team.
me sentía desalentada.
Finally,
Decía, ¿cómo
Ugur,
vamos a
thank you.
combinar esto?
I
Pues tal vez
think
todavía
that
falta
I was
apuntalar lo que
really
dice
sad because
John,
I didn't know how we were
la parte
gonna
técnica,
combine
la
this.
parte de la
We still
tramitología,
need
porque ni
the
tú ni
technical
yo como
part,
creativos somos muy duchos, pero hay
that
que comenzar y
none
tú
of
lo has
us
hecho muy bien.
are
Y te
very
agradezco el que hayas
well
aceptado mi obra.
known this art.
Hasta luego.
Thank you so much for accepting my work. Thanks again.
Thank you, Ariadne. We've got Uga, then Ada, Sabatin. And you've got 10 minutes to vote. Please vote if you have not voted. 10 minutes. Uga.
Sayın Başkan, tekrar teşekkür ederim.
Dear Chairperson, thanks very much. First of all, John Fine, distinguished chair of the Commerce Committee, to hear such beautiful words from him makes me proud. This shows me that I'm taking the right steps towards the right direction. I'm really motivated to take further steps to that direction. So I can't wait to see him in Dubai. We already spent some quality time with him in Baku. And Madam Ariadne, thanks very much. My dear colleague, my dear author, writer colleague, she didn't hesitate to transfer her solace to Asgardia Child Fund because she had two things an Asgardian may want: to be able to send her funds to Asgardia Child Fund and to be able to have her work registered. So she hit two birds with one stone. Now, John Fine's question regarding should it be the trade ministry or equity ministry? First of all, I would like to say that I'm going to pursue this to its end. And as an author, I am still actively working. One of my stories is published in a collection, Turkish science fiction anthologies, that was published in London. Because this is my field, and because I know the technicalities of it, and because of the fact that our Minister of Culture is an artist herself, when you ask the question, what are the most prominent topics in today's arts? For example, in my country, there is the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, and this ministry supports. This ministry is responsible from all the written and audiovisual artworks. So the name of the ministry is Culture and Tourism Ministry. So they are responsible in terms of the registration, licensing of all such kind of artworks. So I would like to say the following. Mr. Lembitopik and Mr. John Fine, I would like to say that I'm going to pursue this to the end. I believe that what I'm doing is something right, and I believe it is worth it to pass it to the next generations. And as a person who worked in a transparent manner so far, I believe such a work should be undertaken by the Ministry of Culture of Asgardia rather than any other ministry, because this is purely our field. I shouldn't say that it's our expertise, but
testlerin
this
sonucu
is
olarak
something
teste
that we
katılan
put
tüm
our hearts on. So
vatandaşlarımıza ve
that we
üyelerimize
gave our
tekrar
hearts.
tekrar buradan teşekkür
That's
etmek
why
istiyorum
I would like
Sayın Başkan.
to thank our
Bana sormak
citizens
istediğiniz
and
tekrar
my dear
sorularınız
colleagues in
varsa
the parliament.
memnuniyetle
And
bunların hepsine
if you would like to ask
şeffaf ve
any
objektif
questions
bir
or make
şekilde
any
cevap
comments,
vereceğim.
I will
Ayrıca
do my best to answer
Dubai
them as
toplantısı
objectively
öncesi
as
son
possible.
sözlerimden
And
lütfen
these will
bakın.
be my last
Dubai
words. Please
toplantısı
forgive me.
öncesi
Before
sevgili
Dubai
John Fine'e
meeting,
bir kere daha sesleniyorum.
and I would like to
Bana göndermek istediği
tell
bir dosyası varsa
John
her
Fine
ne
once
olursa
again,
olsun
if you would
bir
like to send
atafosu
me
bile
any
olabilir.
file, this could
Lütfen
be
bana Word dosyası
some
şeklinde e-posta adresine
some phrase even,
göndersin ve bana Asgardia Çocuk Fonu'na
some expression, a line, a
bağışladığı
quote.
5 doların ekran
Please
resmini göndersin.
send it to me
Bu işin
so that
bir
I can
sanatçı ve yazar için ne kadar rahat,
copyright it,
ne
and
kadar basit,
you will be
ne
able to
kadar
send
ulaşılabilir
$5
ve
to the
konforlu olduğunu
Asgardia Children's
kendisine bir
Fund
kere daha kanıtlayın.
so that it will be
Son çağrım
possible for
şudur.
me to prove it
Dünya
that this process
vatandaşlarına
itself is
siz de bu
extremely
konudan
simple,
istifade
extremely
edin.
basic, and
Lütfen
extremely
bunun
easy
bizimle
to
birlikte
use.
olun.
And finally, I would like to
Ve
make a
tüm
call to the
parlamento üyeleri ve Asgardia
citizens of
vatandaşları
the
başta olmak üzere
global nations. Please
basit
be an
diyalog
Asgardian,
yöntemi
be
için
a member of
lütfen
Asgardia,
komitemizin
and
kapısını çalın diyorum.
esteemed
Sayın
MPs
Başkanım
of Asgardia,
sözleriniz için tekrar
please
teşekkür
come
ederim.
to our door
Huzurlarınızdan
to be
saygı ve
able to
sevgiyle
register your
ayrılmak üzere.
artworks through
Müsaadenizle.
a very simple process. Thanks very much. These will be my last words.
Okay, thank you. Then briefly to Ada and Sabahattin, and then we move on. You have 5 minutes to vote, by the way. So, Ada.
Yes, I'm here. I'm gonna say in Spanish. Mi querido Hugo, hace tiempo pues no hablamos.
Dear Erger, we haven't talked in a while.
Pero he estado guiando todo el día mientras se está dando
I
esta
have
reunión
been
y
driving all day in the meantime that this meeting has been happening.
Como vice chair de seguridad, tenemos que ser más
As
responsables.
a vice chair of security, we have we have to be very responsible. I'm sorry for the work that this entails. And this is the job that I execute in this planet. But I hope that you can send me the document so I can participate
y ayudar a estos niños
and help these children at the same time in sending you the donation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sabahattin, then John. Then we move on.
Merhabalar.
Hello.
Ben bugün stadyumdayım mecburi
I
olarak.
am in a stadium right now. I was part of a football match organization. That's why I had to attend. I did my best to follow the meeting. As Youth and Education Committee, we already shared what we could do. I would like to once again share that with you.
Bu yapacağımız çalışmalar
Therefore, the work that we will undertake will be clear for you. As we spoke yesterday, as we mentioned yesterday,
kanunu konusunda birinci ve ikinci okumaların
Youth and Education Act, combining the first and second readings to turn it into a fundamental law on education of Asgardia. This is one of the pending works. Apart from this,
geçmiş dönemdeki komite başkanının bize
the previous chair of committee
bırakmış olduğu
left us a file,
liderliği projesi,
Youth Leadership Project file.
projesi. İkincisi dil
Second one is the language project.
Üçüncüsü eğitim enstitüsü projesi.
Third, Educational Institute project.
Dokümanları geliştireceğimizi daha önce de ifade etmiştim.
I have already said that we'll be drafting the necessary documents for these three projects. For the future, we are thinking on improving the cooperation between Asgardia and universities, especially the universities that provide space training or space science educations. I have a list of those universities, and I will be getting in touch with them in terms of establishing a contact, establishing a relationship between Asgardia and those universities or institutions. I believe that we can collect them under an umbrella. I have already mentioned the August 12th World Youth Day. This is a United Nations declared World Youth Day. I was thinking that we could organize an event and kind of activity. We have a draft program for such an event. I had already shared this with you, but I'm going to update it and reshare. Thirdly, Asgardia Volunteers Project among our citizens based on voluntary work. We will undertake some studies to speed up this process. Thirdly, space literacy. Very much like the economic literacy or digital literacy, we can promote space literacy as a mission of Asgardia. We can undertake some global activities to increase this space literacy. And fifth, this we have been working on for a long time, and we have created a certain level of awareness. Asgardia Space Games project. I would like to thank Ugur again. Now it has been registered. It is now copyrighted. It has become the asset of Asgardia right now. To develop this further, I would like to say that I am now in touch with international institutions and various organizations to further this idea. I already told you that I'm in contact with some institutions and I'll improve my contacts with the others. The details of such projects will be presented to you in the form of a PowerPoint presentation when we meet in Dubai. Thanks very much.
Thank you for your...
This is all I would like to say right now.
Thank you for your report, and I very much appreciate it. So just questions. John's got a point about the previous presentation, but if you have any questions for either Sabahattin, and obviously you have to live your life, you have to do those other things as well. For Sabahattin or Uga, then please raise your hand now before we move on to safety and security. John.
Yes, well, I just want to tell Erger that I agree 100% that the Minister of Culture, certainly that is an area that should fall under him. The law definitely gives that kind of direction, if you want to go that direction, that we passed the copyright law. I will send you something. I want to send you the current version of the Galactic Prime Directive, because that's very near and dear to me right now, and it is something that definitely not only me but Ferda and all of the Foreign Affairs Committee created. So I will send you that. It needs to be copyrighted, but not. It'll need to be copyrighted under the Foreign Affairs Committee, not just me. I can be representative if you want, or Ferda, either one. But also, you said you would take this into a direction. You would take it to the end, and one thought that comes to mind as far as that's concerned is how about publishing? Do you see your committee going into the publishing? I think that would be great if this could go to that extent where you publish works as well, because it would be kind of cool to have the Asgardia publishing company on work that people buy, books and stuff like that. So I just want to see what your thoughts on that.
Okay.
Sayın Başkan,
distinguished chairperson, John Fine, put his finger on a topic I almost forgot about. Under the topic of ICE, our committee chair of manufacturing, together with Benedetto, we have the digital library project that we are undertaking right now. We might come up with some surprises during a Dubai meeting. So within the scope, we may have a copyright, a basic, easy to implement copyright law, or as mentioned by Dear John Fine, the publishing house project. All these projects could be included under the umbrella of Digital Library of Asgardia project. This is really possible. More or less, I believe we have the necessary infrastructure for that. I hope that this was a satisfactory answer, because I would like to discuss this in detail with John Fine. Rather than having a separate project to establish Asgardia Publishing House, we can take this under the umbrella of DSL, the Asgardia Digital Library, because the Asgardia Digital Library is all about publishing and authors. Thanks very much, John, for pointing out a very rightful issue.
Thank you. And you can discuss that probably together in Dubai further, and then we move on.
Teşekkür ederim Uğur Bey'e.
Thanks very
Her
much,
zamanki gibi
Mr. Ur. As always, he has been really creative. We are walking
her komite
towards
kendisiyle ilgili
the right
konuların
direction,
izahatlarıyla
because
ilgilenebilir. Sonrasında
every
gereken
committee
komite
can be
tavsiye
interested
edebilir.
in their
İnceleme
own
kurulu gibi
uh,
çalışacaklar. Üretimle ilgili bir şey
patents, their own
geldiğinde
copyrights, and then send it to
güvenlikle
the
ilgili bir şey
culture committee. For
geldiğinde
example,
arama
whenever we have
komite
something about security,
veya başka
whenever
bir komiteyle
we can
ilgili
send
bir
it to
şey
the
geldiğinde onlar önce
Committee
bunu
of Security.
inceleyecekler.
If we have
Sonra
something about the
başvurusunu yapacaklar
Committee
ve
of
bu
Manufacturing,
süreçte
then that
gereken
manufacturing
komiteye
could
ilerletecek
review this document
paslaşması söz
and
konusu.
pass it
Bence
to
çok mantıklı olur.
the next
Bunu
relevant
Dubai'de tartışmak
line
gerekecek diye
committee.
düşünüyorum.
I believe this would be a smooth way of working, which we should discuss further in Dubai.
Thank you. That is a good conversation. Really appreciate it. And thank you for that. Really appreciate all of those comments, and thank you for catching up with us. And don't worry, you have to do other things in your life as well. The voting is now closed, and I will share the results at the end. I'll just give you a 5-minute break now, and then I expect us to finish in the next 30 minutes or so. So a quick 5-minute break. It's 7 minutes past now, so we continue at 12 minutes past for the final session. 12 minutes past. Okay, so we'll see you in 5 minutes.
We're going to space soon.
we continue now with our final session. We have 4 more committee reports. That's the main business, really. I haven't really been notified of any legislation people want to talk about, but I'll give you one more chance later. So we've done 8 committees. Let's do 4 more. Safety and security, finance, equity and resources, and manufacturing. Safety and security. Ricky, anything to add?
Hello. Yes, let me see if I can share my screen.
Okay.
Might take a moment. There we go. Do a little bit of enlargement. This here was an idea that I had thought of, and I kicked it around in our Slack area. And Robert Thomas picked it up and fleshed it out. This is something that I believe would be useful to us, maybe not so much now, but in the future. But now would be a good time to start it, possibly. And that's the Asgardia Space Nation Security Information Center briefing. Now, the summary of this outlines the development of a security information model tailored for Asgardia Space Nation, currently operating primarily in the information space. The model prioritizes establishing a robust foundation for information security and geopolitical intelligence, with a focus on creating both inward and outward facing products. The flagship product, the Asgardia Geopolitical Intelligence Report, will serve strategic decision makers internally, while outward facing products will address space weather, near Earth objects, NEOs, and global geophysical disaster information. Collaboration with the Science Committee and a voluntary participation framework will underpin the initiative. The objectives: establishing a security information model, develop a scalable framework to manage and disseminate security-related information for Asgardia's unique needs, prioritize information space operations, lay a foundation for effective operations in the information domain before expanding into physical security areas. Number 3, launch the Asgardia Geopolitical Intelligence Report, create a inward-facing product to support the strategic decision-making with refinements based on feedback. Next would be develop outward-facing products, provide Asgardians with and external stakeholders with critical information on space weather, NEOs, and geophysical disasters, such as earthquakes, tornadoes, and the like. The next, for collaboration, work with the Science Committee to integrate scientific expertise into disaster preparedness and response strategies. Now, Bridget Fikes, as she has her disaster preparedness pamphlet that she did, and that can be incorporated into this also. Next is maintain voluntary participation. Ensure all initiatives align with Asgardia's ethos of voluntary engagement. Then we go down to the approach. 1, security information model development. The security information model will serve as a backbone for Asgardia's operations in the information space. Key components include data collection and analysis, aggregate data from open source intelligence, scientific reports, and global monitoring systems to inform Asgardia's security posture. And let's see. It don't seem to want to take all of it for some reason. But anyway, you get the general idea at this point. Some reason it didn't take the whole document. But as I said, you get the general idea at this point. I think this would be relevant for us to have and to. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna drop this out. There. Anyway, as I'm saying, I think this would be very relevant to future operations. Not so much now. We still have to get the entire Cyber Act implemented. Some ministers have tried to comply with it. Others, they really can't at this point. But that's something that also needs to be dealt with. And that's it.
Thank you for that. Any comments to Ricky? Yes, John.
Well, I've certainly been following Ricky's progress on this through Slack. He probably doesn't know that I've been paying attention, but I have. And I think it's awesome. I think what he's doing, and I look forward to seeing more on this in the future. So, Ricky, a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, John.
Very much appreciate that.
Robert Thomas has done the majority of the work. I just came up with the idea and he fleshed it out. He did an excellent job.
Thank you, Dan. Very good. Thank you. And looking forward to seeing you. I'm so glad you're coming as well to Dubai. Colleagues can see how important that meeting's going to be. Let's move on. We've got 3 more to go. Voting, as I say, has closed. I have the results. I'll share them later. Finance next. Sarah.
Good afternoon. Apologies, I was not here earlier.
That's all right. I didn't notice until now. You shouldn't have said that.
Well, perfect. Allow me to share my screen. Brilliant. Can you see it?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. I am going to keep this brief. A majority of these initiatives are predicated upon not only parlaying with, sorry, I'll slow down, parlaying with the finance minister in Dubai, but also in collaboration with all of the fellow committee members. So each and every one of these initiatives will be discussed in Dubai. First and foremost, the global residency initiative with, obviously it's our main priority. We hear about it every single solitary call, and I could not agree more. Right now, a majority of what we are doing is just researching jurisdictions around the world that have found success in attracting e-commerce and citizens. In this case, Estonia has done an incredible job, and that is a framework that we will be discussing in Dubai. Digital participation incentives. Ugur just did an amazing job of discussing this, and again, we will be meeting with him in Dubai to discuss how finance can aid in those endeavors. Additionally, I have been working on for quite some time basically a digital welcome or an onboarding package so that residents have a framework and, a to-do of how to become involved and immersed in the culture and community as quickly and seamlessly as possible. Fostering community and identity. Obviously, we have a very proud community and a very strong identity that we need to share with the world. And again, this would be just really supporting not only all of our chairs, but specifically culture and citizenship. The global competitive analysis. Now that the Tax Act has been ratified, really implementing this and rolling it out to the world would be our next steps. This is predicated, of course, upon the participation and support of our finance minister. So again, we are very excited to have the chance to sit down with him in Dubai. But really just to figure out the best way as Asgardia to roll out this initiative to the world in a way that is successful and drives not only residency, but revenue. Policy and infrastructure growth. I am a very big fan of the two protocols, the Asgardia and Opportunities Act and the Digital Content Authorization Act. So thank you very much for bringing those forward. But I just think that they offer a truly compelling way for individuals to become involved with Asgardia, which is definitely needed. And again, just looking forward, we're very excited to be taking our ideas and initiatives to Dubai. I'm very excited to be meeting with the head of nations just to get his ideas and thoughts on how finance can be most effective moving forward. But then, and not more importantly, but equally as important, meeting with our fellow chair members just so that we can not only create those partnerships, but to foster those relationships so that we may further our agenda and objectives. And that is it.
Thank you. That's a great presentation. Looks great as well. Any comments to Sarah? Looking forward to seeing you very much. Last time we met was where the sky went dark. It was in Dallas. So hopefully there'll be great sunshine when we get there in October. Thank you very much indeed. We've got 2 more to go. Equity and Resources Committee. Any contribution for that? I'm not sure I'm expecting one today, really. Equity and Resources wish to make a comment?
I'm here.
Oh, great. Oh, great. You are. Sorry. I can see that you're on the list now. Okay, over to you. Sorry. My apologies. Oh, yeah, I hadn't scrolled down far enough. My apologies. Great. Over to you.
Okay, so I'm going to keep it short. Okay, so basically, the Equity and Resources Committee is here in Asgardia to ensure growth in a fair and practical way. Our job is to give every citizen a fair chance to partake and find smart and low-cost ways to build resources for our nation and make sure Asgardia has a presence in countries all around the world. What we've done is projects that we are working on is the Global Office Directory and the Civic Liaison Network. In the next few months, in the short-term future, we are going to implement the Global Office Directory and the client's first Civic Liaisons Network. Like I said, this is just very short. We are busy with those projects. I will expand on it in Dubai. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Ria. Any questions? Okay. Thank you. Very big event, this Dubai event. Manufacturing. Finally, manufacturing. Do we have John? John's raised your hand, sorry, yeah. Go ahead, John.
Okay, I can wait till after the presentation.
Okay, let's do this presentation first and then we'll come back to you. Yeah. Okay, let's go to manufacturing.
Hello,
Greetings.
everyone.
Hi. Hi, Benedetta.
It's good to see you all. So I have a short presentation, and first of all, I wanted to go to Ugo to say to him that I donate to the fund, and you receive normally by WhatsApp my book, so that you can make the registration. And then for Luca, I wanted to share with you an idea for the Asgardia satellite too. If you can just tell me where I can send it to you, if it's better with the email of Asgardia or somewhere else.
Okay. What we'll do, I think, send it to Lucas Asgardia email. That's the best. But any problems, contact me and we'll send it for you. But I think you'll have it.
Okay. So you have my presentation. And for the moment, in the manufacturing committee, where I am more or less alone, what we are doing is with Ugo, we decide to make a website for the digital space library. So we will start with that. And the two first thing that we will do is first the registration of the what he just said before. We will try to automate the system and make it automatic on the website. And the second one, to see if we can try to have more Asgardian, is to launch in the website a system to gather our human cultures into a unique digital archive. So that is for the digital space library. And with the science committee, discussing with them, we had the idea to make a do-it-yourself initiative. The name is Astromaker, in which I decided to kickstart the initiative with an astronaut speed test. And the goal of this do-it-yourself project is to make the opportunity to everyone around the world to make the same, and to get it to promote Asgardia in different events. So to be clear, it's all for me, and thank you.
Thank you. Really nice presentation. Really appreciate that. Questions for Benedetto and John? I think you're first. I think you might be talking about something else, but go ahead. John.
Well, no, it's just, I just wanted to say that I am I'm filled with a lot of joy for this coming executive Congress, because I see all the hard work that the committees are putting in, and these presentations are just, I mean, Sarah did a great job. Benedetto just did a great job. Luca did. Everybody here is just doing outstanding work, and I just want a big thank you to them for their hard work. And I'm really looking forward to the conference. And it really just it feels good to see this kind of activities going on, where we got real action being taken to move, at least here in Parliament, where we can move forward and do great things for Asgardia. So yeah, I just want to give everybody a pat on the back, because y'all are doing just awesome job, and I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Thank you, John. I very much agree. Great set of presentations. I really appreciate them, and thank you for the clarity as well. Really great. Okay, thank you, everyone. So that brings us to the end of the committee reports. Really well done. Next, we've got 3 items to go, really. Review of timetable for priority acts. This is a regular thing I say about, if you've got legislation you think we need to do, then tell me, and we will be able to put it in. It's not mandatory. I don't want legislation just for the sake of legislation. What I want us to do is only have legislation that really matters, something which is useful and important. So it's an open invitation to remind you that everybody here is allowed to suggest legislation. If you're not sure how to make it, I can help. I'm very happy to provide some guidance on this, and we will work with you to achieve that. Fundamentally, what this means is that you, if you think that we need something, just let me know, and then we can take it forward. You don't have to do this alone. You'll be working with me and others. So that's all I'm saying there. Ugo.
Sayın Başkan, teşekkür ederim
Distinguished
tekrar.
Chairman, thank you once
Tüm
again.
komite başkanlarımıza yapmış oldukları
For all the committee
harika
chairs,
sunumlardan
I would like to thank
teşekkür
each
etmek
and every
istiyorum.
one of you for these
Bunu
valuable
söylemezsem
presentations.
inanın olmazdı.
I
Çok
should
güzel bir
say
akşamdı.
that because it has
Sayın
been a really
Başkan, destek
enjoyable night.
talebinde bulunabilirsiniz dediniz.
Distinguished
Bay David.
chairperson, you said
Ben
you
bir
can
destek
we can ask
talebinde
for
bulunmak istiyorum.
a
Hemen
support,
sıcağı sıcağına.
and I would like
Kısa
to
sohbet geçmişi. O da şu.
ask for your support on one thing.
Sayın Başkan, basit telif hakkı yasası konusunda
The fundamental copyright act
şu an
draft is, as you also know, is ongoing. We have some test files we have been working on. Mr. Sabahattin and Ferda are also sending me some files. I'm also looking at them, but of course it takes time. I really spend a lot of time on those issues. But I have a proposal, and I need some feedback from our committee chairs, if possible, right now. While I'm, of course, dealing with all these things in the culture committee, can we create some kind of, I don't know, sub department or subdivision only for the copyright issues? Is that possible? I don't know. This question is for both for the chairperson and also for the committee chairs, if they would like to take the floor. Because right now this is a really busy task. If possible, let's make a terms of reference here for such person who will take care of the copyright issues under our committee. And if you let me, I will send you a file or a folder on this, and we'll try to give you some terms of reference or some duties and responsibilities for certain persons in our committee. And I'm open to your suggestions and your support, of course. Thank you very much. I hope it's clear. And I would like to thank also other committee chairs in advance.
Okay, simple request, simple answer. If there are volunteers who will work with Ugo to get the Copyright Act agreed, please, you can volunteer now. The alternative is that I shall ask again on our Thursday meeting. So I shall ask again if you're willing to help. I guess a small number of people can make a big difference. So I'll ask volunteers now, but I will ask again on Thursday at the chairs meeting and also the parliamentary meeting. Ariadne?
Yes, I want to be a volunteer with Ugo.
Oh, great. Thank you. Okay, you've got a volunteer. Here we go. So, Ariadne. Anybody else? Having Ariadne on the team is like having 10 people on the team. Thank you. Okay, we've got one volunteer. I shall ask again on Thursday. Ugo?
Sayın Başkan, zannedersem
Distinguished Chairman, yes, thank you, Ariadne, by the way. Yes, I need your support, but there is one more thing, or maybe I was misunderstood. Whether Ariadne is going to be doing that inside Culture Committee, or whether I am going to be doing that, I need to set up a subdivision or like a directorate under this committee about copyright solely. That's my suggestion, or that's my request, because things sometimes get quite confused. So when assigning people to this role, I hope also that there's also a subdivision or something like that.
Well, what we will do is set up an ad hoc group, a temporary group. We have the ability to do that, a temporary work group for this purpose. That's a good idea. And so what we can have is a separate group. You can work all of that out then. So this will be the Copyright Act working group, I suggest. Let's see what Ada says then, John.
Yes, I will be a volunteer also. I confirm
Right
now. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So we've got Ada and Ariadne, and we'll make this the working group. John.
Yes, well, yes, that's actually was going to be my suggestion, that he created a working group. And if he does that, I would definitely be on that working group as well. After all, I had a big part in the passing of the Copyright Act, and very well versed into all of the parameters of that act. So I would definitely want to volunteer those expertise. So in the working group, and whatever whatever we can do as a group, then that's what we'll do. But yeah.
That's great. It helps because John is also the chair of the Legislative Merit Review Group. So that helps a lot. So you've got yourself a working group, Ugo. Well done. I'll ask again on Thursday, but I know that that group of 4 will be easily enough. Maybe you can get others too, but I'm sure you'll get a great result from that. So well done. I need to make a note that we are formally setting up that working group. I just need to make a note of it. There's no administrative problem, but if Aliona and Linda will please make a note, and then I'll minute that we are setting. I'll make a note that we are setting up that group. So thank you. Excellent. What a productive day. Great. Let's move on then. And it's always possible for you to tell me if you find legislation that we need. But that's great. That's a really good one. And there's value in this as well. Real economic value and wealth to be made as well, I'd expect. Next item, we have really covered, looking ahead to the Asgardia Executive Congress. I will simply say you now have a good picture of what will happen. Government will be there. Parliament will be there in terms of the ministers and the chairs. And the Prime Minister, Head of Nation, myself as Chair of Parliament and Head of Administration will be there as well. This is an important Congress. As you have seen, it's very action orientated. Everything's ready. All we have to do is get there. And we will arrive on the 28th of October, leave on the 31st. And the main day is the 29th. But I expect the 30th to be really helpful too, as colleagues here spend time discussing and planning and mutually motivating each other. I know that the last Executive Congress in Baku was really 100% excellent in terms of creating that team. So I'm looking forward to all of you being there. 12 out of 12 chairs are going, and that is going to be great. Most meeting for the first time, or many meeting for the first time, so thank you. I don't need to say anything else because we have talked about the Executive Congress many times in the last 3 days, so I won't repeat it. But I'm very much looking forward to seeing all of you, and it will be great to spend time with the founder and the head of nation, Dr. Igor Asher-Bailey. And those who have not yet met him, I can confirm you will be inspired and you will understand immediately why this organization is so good. So let me move on to the final item. Or second last item is the results of the voting. So thank you very much for everyone who voted. We had a quorum. That's the main thing. We had 50% plus 1 as the quorum, and we were well above that. 92 registered. On the agenda, everyone voted for it. Thank you. If you voted against the agenda, we would have a problem, but you voted for it. So 92 in favor, no one against, no abstentions. So the agenda is carried and we're quorum, so the votes count. The chair's protocol, 87 in favor, none against, but 5 abstentions. So it is carried. Thank you. Space debris, in favor of the first reading, 87, against 1, abstentions 3. So that also passes to second reading. Thank you. Space traffic, 85 in favor, 2 against, and 4 abstentions. So the Asgardia Space Traffic Act also goes to second reading. So congratulations. 2 important pieces of legislation going forward. Well done, Ferdo. youth and education in first reading of the Act there, framework bill really. 89 in favour, 1 against and 1 abstention. So that's carried as well. So thank you very much. People say, why are there such big majorities? It's because we're grown up. And if something's a problem, then we keep it back, we fix it, and we move it forward again. So we are here to find solutions, not problems. So thank you. That's the provisional result, and it will be passed on to our head of nation for his information as well. So well done. That's a very good result, very productive session. Moving to my final remarks then. This has been a really productive session, and I often say this, but I will say it again. We are the world's first fully functioning digital democracy. No one in the world comes close to what we do. Nobody. I guess if you have online meetings, you will see how professional we are compared to many people. And I don't remember who I have met and who I have not met, because I think our relationships are, as John Fine said, like a family. And we know each other well. And when we meet, it's a continuation of the same thing. So thank you for that. Huge thanks to our interpreters. They are brilliant. And they have transformed our use of time. So we have had really productive 2 3/4 hours, but it's really 4 times that because we don't have this consecutive translation, it's simultaneous. So thank you, translators. Always great to have you on board. Finally, biggest thanks as always is to the man who created the vision of Asgardia, Dr. Igor Asher-Bailey. And it's exciting. All 12 chairs will meet Dr. Asher-Bailey, and I promise you it will turbocharge your commitment. I am so honored to meet him a little bit more often, and it's why I am so loyal, because I know that Dr. Asher-Bailey's soul is warm and positive, and more than anything, inspirational. So with that, I want to thank all of those people and also my team. The team is superb. Linda and Aliona do so much work, and John as well. And you keep me focused and organized, so thank you very much. So with that, I want to thank everybody. If you like what you saw, then for 100 solars, which is the same as €100 a year, you can be a full member of Asgardia. And all that remains for me to say now is, after the national anthem, I declare this meeting closed. Well, before we do that, Iko, last word to Iko, be briefly.
Hello, everyone. I just want to commend everyone for doing such an excellent job. I just want to make sure that we are all making sure those edits go away into all the legislation as it moves forward. Just making sure all the appropriate requirements are met. Thank you all for your time, and I'll have an excellent day.
Thank you. I got most
Yes,
of that.
that is all. That is all of it.
Thank you. And I echo that emotion as well. And with that, it's a good place to finish. So after the anthem, I declare this 10th session of the second term of Asgardia closed. One unity, one humanity. Oho to you all. And I'll see you on Thursday. Can we play the anthem?